Alright, so we are looking at Bitcoin today. This is a website that I use, Bitcoin Wisdom, to track prices of Bitcoin. You can use this to look at prices of other cryptocurrency as well, Ether, Doji, or Solana that's coming up new, or coming up higher recently. So I wanted to make this video just to use this as a cautionary tale for Bitcoin bulls. There are, I believe, like both sides of arguments, whether Bitcoin is going up, what's the value proposition for Bitcoin. I wanted to bring up some of the concerns that others, very prominent figures in the financial industry has pointed out. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, Warren Buffett, they have real concern about the use case or the actual value proposition of Bitcoin. So just to look at it, Bitcoin, it's taken as a new creation that is going to change our everyday finance and the way how we use our money. It was created by an anonymous person or a group of people, we don't know really, working under a crypto name of Satoshi Nakamoto. Every day we hear in the media how good they are, how many possibilities cryptocurrencies can create. However, what about the negative sides of Bitcoin that has already once been classified as a speculative bubble several times in 2018, in 2021, when there was a new frenzy that was occurring, when Elon Musk made a huge bet by buying almost $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin and reported that his company Tesla is going to accept payments made by cryptocurrencies. Since then, that bubble has burst. They disclosed that they have sold all of their Bitcoins at a loss actually. We haven't been heard the chatter about accepting Bitcoin as a currency to accept payments for Tesla cars or any other vehicle for that matter. So let's look at, I wanted to bring up yes, there is supply and demand, this kind of speculative market propositions, but there are some fundamental problems that I believe will cost that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies that will fail one day. And this might not happen obviously today, tomorrow, next year, or next 5 years, but it eventually will occur. Now I need to ask yourself a question. If you were ever able to actually buy anything with Bitcoin, I guess most of you have never even heard of places, or there are some places now, but it's still very few people or very few places are actually accepting Bitcoin as a mode of payment. So the places where Bitcoin is mentioned mostly are the illegal internet sites operating in darknet, which sells drugs, guns, even child pornography, this kind of nefarious materials. These are operated by Bitcoin. So that's what I see. That's where I see the most use cases for Bitcoin. It is done because of its anonymity, and anonymity is supposed to be the biggest advantage of Bitcoin, other than tradable goods, actually helping organized crimes, groups of terrorist countries willing to evade international sanctions, to transfer their money from one place to another. Without extensive money laundering, while many people like comparing Bitcoin to gold when it comes to illegal trade, there are some fundamental differences. First of all, our yellow shining resource that's heavy, that's gold, and it's hard to transport. In order to finalize a transaction, you need to meet the recipient in person. The advantage of Bitcoin here is being a pure line of ones and zeros, and that comes to play. You can buy absolutely anything you need to commit a crime by just one click on your phone, and no federal authority will be informed about your potential illegal transaction. Another problem with Bitcoin is its lack of cybersecurity. While you're making a transaction through a centralized institution such as a bank, there are several procedures they need to follow, as well as regulations, in order to reduce any risk of theft. But when it comes to Bitcoin, these regulations barely exist. Until 2008, until 2018, more than 980,000 Bitcoins were stolen from just crypto exchanges from between 2008 and 2018 in 10 years. For today's Bitcoins, that value is over more than $50 billion. I mean, if you look at this, like that's almost close to $60 billion, because right now, as you can see, Bitcoin is hovering right at 60,000 mark. And this is another stock that closely represents, also used as a leverage for Bitcoin, as a proxy for Bitcoin. There's a MicroStrategy. We'll get to that in another video, but let's just look at the Bitcoin, the cases that we want to talk about it for now. There have been attempts to regulate crypto trade. Most of them are still inefficient and leaky. Thus, concerns still remain, and further action is needed for most well-known countries for banning crypto trade. Okay, and this, I believe, will be main driver for banning all cryptos at one point. Governments will come in and shut down this operation because they cannot regulate it. That's what Jamie Dimon has been telling for a long time, that governments will not allow this kind of transactions to happen because they want to know where the money is, where your money is, where the total any mode of payment that you can use to purchase something. They want to know all about it, and there is a reason for it. I understand that the decentralized feature of this is very attractive to some users, but at the same time, this government oversights are there for a reason. Those rules are placed for a reason, and this, I believe, will be one of the main drivers because of which Bitcoin and all other cryptos will eventually be shut down. And one of the countries that have already done that is China. So Chinese financial institutions are forbidden from any sort of trade regarding cryptocurrencies. And despite all these measures, crypto mining has not been addressed until recently, oversimplifying it in a new Bitcoin that is, Bitcoin is created every 10 minutes, and people with decryptive algorithms are trying to guess its serial number. While in 2015 only few people knew about cryptocurrencies, there was much less crypto mining centers that actually competed for getting one. But while the demand went up and the more new crypto mining centers opened up, we know about Marathon Digital, we know about Riot platforms, so they are doing crypto mining. CleanSpark, these are few stocks that have gone really ballistic about because of this crypto craze. So with more new crypto mining centers opening up, your chance of being chosen when to get a Bitcoin gets lower and lower. And the crypto mining centers have increased their computing power to become the chosen one that will receive the Bitcoin in the end, and this drives energy consumption to insane levels. University of Cambridge Center for Alternative Finances calculate that solely Bitcoin energy consumption is around 130 terawatt hours. So 130 terawatt per hour, and that is equivalent to the consumption of developed nations such as Sweden, Norway, or even United Arab Emirates. This is only Bitcoin with exclusion of Ethereum or any other cryptocurrency, just Bitcoin. So think about like what kind of energy consumption we are using for this. Most of the world energy still relies on heavily polluted fossil fuels. We can estimate that just Bitcoin consumption is around 0.43 gigatons of carbon dioxide released to atmosphere, and that is not something that we should ignore. Other than environmental implications, this is 21st century, and we are already struggling to lower emissions and climate disaster. So this is something that we should really take into account. Now let's get back to China. Recently there was a change in Chinese politics, and they're trying to favor renewable energy resources. Now this is one of the reasons where we believe that the crypto mining operations will be and has been shut down, and the Chinese government has been really mindful of its energy consumption from fossil fuels and others. Now let's take a look. So other than this, other than government implication and the environmental risk, the other factor that always comes into play is always the value proposition. So we talk about that Bitcoin is the digital gold because this is limited in supply, and then once 21 million Bitcoin has been mined, there will be no more, or in other words, there will not be actually no more rewards for mining Bitcoin, so people will stop mining Bitcoin. So I wonder what would happen to this digital networks that the mining companies that are investing resources to mine Bitcoins until then, and it's not too far until we get the 21 million Bitcoins getting being produced. So at that point, once the 21 million Bitcoin has been produced and the reward for getting Bitcoin is getting lower and lower, then let's say the mining operation stops, but then what's the motivation for keeping this transaction network going? That's the question we should ask. That are the companies like BlackRock or Fidelity that have started, or even like Cathier's ARK Invest that have started all this Bitcoin ETFs, are they going to be investing resources to keep the Bitcoin network going? That's a big question to ask. Ultimately, this does not provide any kind of value. Like Warren Buffett said, farmland produces food, apartments gives us shelter. Any kind of company that you invest in their stocks that produces something, it has a tangible return. With Bitcoin, it's only what the next guy is willing to pay you. At this point, as you can look at the spread, it's right around 60,500. So you can buy it for somewhere somewhat less, like 60,490. That's the one of the sell transaction, and the buy transaction has happened more. See, like 1, 2, 3 Bitcoins have been bought and 1 has been sold. So it's only like what the next guy is willing to pay you. That's Bitcoin's worth. And once that goes away, the Bitcoin does not have any intrinsic or inherent value. So that network or that belief system is supposed to be collapsing, supposed to crumble. So this is why I am not a long-term investor in Bitcoin. I do trade Bitcoin-related stocks. For example, MicroStrategy is one of the stocks that I have traded successfully most times, unsuccessfully a couple of times. But I do not believe in the long-term value of Bitcoin because of these reasons. And I want you guys to take a good listen and think about before investing your hard-earned money on Bitcoin or any other crypto-related assets. There are other alternatives. There are always going to be frenzies that are going to put some kind of asset class in highlight, but we have to be mindful of the inherent value proposition. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.